guys, just wanted to give you a quick little reminder that we stream this podcast live every Monday on either Gavin's Altars channel or Phantom Preacher's channel, so don't forget to go check us out there as well. Links will be in the description below.
Hey guys, this is Weapon Gojira X, and I'm here with Explosive Rose.
Hello. I waved
Gartic.
again. I don't know why I do that.
Hello.
And Tom Fewer.
Hey.
And we're here for another episode of Think On It, the TC3 podcast. So, how are you guys doing this evening?
I am fantastic.
That's good. That's good.
Not bad. I could go for a drink, but not bad.
Yeah, I'm sure all of us could.
Yeah.
So this morning I was kind of bored and I was looking for someone to watch while I was doing some stuff. So I decided to see what was going on Twitch, and apparently Twitch Presents is streaming anime, and
you didn't know that?
Well, I really hadn't been paying attention when I tuned into other people's streams, but
Yeah.
the moment I go and it's showing it on the main screen when you log into Twitch, it just shows some guy swimming in the middle of a really bad storm, and then he just starts to drown and is screaming, "Help, help."
Nice.
And I'm trying to figure out what the hell am I watching, that there is an idiot who decided to swim like a mile away from the shore, and his friend is sleeping soundly on the soundly in a tent while this is all going on.
There's an animated Titanic.
Yes, that's what it is. That was actually Jack. He survived, and he decided to swim to shore. It was actually Rose that died.
Isn't that the way it was supposed to be?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's
Well, his name's
actually.
not Rose. His
Yes.
name's not Jack. It's actually Shiro in this.
It's the Japanese people that happened to be on the Titanic at the time. It's about them.
Oh, Mr. Kojima. Welcome to the Titanic.
An anime created by Hideo Kojima.
You'll never believe the twist that he has in there.
Oh my god, that's
An
what they
anime
should do.
from directors, famous video game director Hideo.
No.
and
It's the
M.
new.
Night
It's the new Metal Gear. Solid
It's the new Metal.
Snake
Yes.
has to sink the Titanic
Solid
because
Snake,
it is
the anime.
because it is the new. It is the newest Metal Gear.
Yes.
Now it goes back in time to one of his ancestors, and he sunk the Titanic because Metal Gear was on board. And basically, Metal Gear back then was like 3 Model Ts duct taped together.
I'm waiting for somebody to make a Doctor Who reference now.
So the doctor shows up.
the doctor shows up in the telephone booth.
That just so happened to appeared on the Titanic at the time.
Appears on the Titanic. He's like, nope, fuck this shit. Fixed
Yep.
point in time, sorry.
It goes, oh,
Wrong
nope,
point in time.
wrong point in time. None of these people are smart enough to be my partner.
It's like that episode
Takes
of Family
Rose.
Guy. It's like that.
Shows up
episode-
and takes Rose.
And then it's like, I'm out of here. This ship is secretly run by Daleks.
It's like that episode of Family Guy where
And there we have the twist.
yes, that is the famous twist. It's like that episode of Family Guy though where Stewie and Brian go back in time with Chris, and he gets on the Titanic,
Oh boy.
and like they're running through like it had hit the thing and they're running through everything and fucking it's an entertaining episode to say the least. Fucking you see Jack and Rose and fucking Jack is just sinking down. I don't know. Fucking I don't even know.
Fucking? I mean, seriously, how many times have you said that already?
I say fucking a lot. Just yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
a good
Jack
word.
and Rose are fucking the whole time?
Yes, they are. That's what's happening.
Yep.
I was trying to think of something funny that I could
Sounds
think about
about
the
right.
episode, but I could not for the life of me.
I mean, that
It's a good
would
episode
be
now,
the first thing
so.
that comes into my mind when the boat starts sinking, it's like I really should be fucking something right now.
I really
like-
I don't want to
need-
die a
I have a
virgin.
massive erection right now, and I really need to get it off. This boat is sinking, but this is more important.
Everybody's trying to get away. It's like, come on, we're in the middle of the ocean. Water's
have
freezing
nerve.
cold.
Let's
I'm dying
we
penetrating
can-
something.
let Jack and Rose. It turns out Jack and Rose were actually on the door.
Or Jack and Rose are the same person, and he was hallucinating the whole time.
He was fucking
Dun, dun,
himself.
dun.
Jack is a Dalek in disguise, and Rose is trying to stop him.
Jack is
What-
Jack
what-
is really James McAvery's character from Split, and he plays like he's every character on the boat. He's Jack.
When did this suddenly become Fight Club?
I know, right? Or Jack is a crazy person. in
He's
an
actually
asylum,
he's
and
actually
he's playing
Captain,
with a toy boat.
he's actually Captain Jack Sparrow. It's
He's
a
actually
crossover
he's
episode.
actually it's actually this is just the delusions of a small child during bath time.
Yes.
Or a hamster.
Apparently,
Or a
I
hamster.
broke the first rule of Fight Club. I'm
It's,
sorry.
it's the dream of a hamster.
Hmm.
Can we just have like Fight Club the movie be the dream of a hamster? Just it was in a hamster's brain the whole time. That would be a twist that I would actually be happy with.
I think I'm more comfortable with the idea of Metal Gear being made into an anime than a movie.
Yeah.
It does lend itself way better than that, and I would say that would work considering I watched a bit of the Castlevania animated series, and I thought, I mean, the only shortcoming I thought of was it's only 4 episodes. What the hell? 4
Mhm.
episodes isn't really a season, but
How long are the episodes?
they're about I get if it were aired on TV, it would be a 30-minute block, so they're about like 24 or 26 minutes. Something
yeah, about
like that.
About
It's basically they're long enough like that it technically those first 4 episodes could have been released in like a movie that would have been about an hour and a half to an hour 45 minutes roughly. So
Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to anime, I feel so left out because I haven't watched anywhere near as much as a lot of people. I've watched like Inuyasha, Trigun, Cowboy Bebop, stuff like that.
I'm
Those
sort
are
of.
I mean,
cool.
I love anime, but I'm really far behind on
yeah,
on stuff. So
Gardic, don't worry about it too much. I've only been watching Sword Art Online, and this is like my first time really ever getting into anime. I've seen like an episode of Cowboy Bebop, and obviously I watched Pokemon, but
yeah,
Like, I
and
like
if-
all kinds of
and if-
anime.
I mean, a lot of people have been exposed to anime just through children's cartoons without even realizing it when they watched like Pokemon or Digimon or Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, that's
Yu-Gi-Oh.
all anime.
DBZ.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z
Glory
is
in the
like,
House.
So
If you count like
plus,
Airbender.
plus
as
you
an anime.
have those wonderful bastards in Cartoon Network and Adult Swim who will air anime and stuff. So
Like, I like all kinds of anime. I think I prefer the older stuff, though.
I
'Cause
prefer
as
most of the older stuff. Yeah.
As it
I
gets
like-
newer, it's just more raunchy. It's like, yeah, I know they're shooting at each other and like fucking sucking
Yeah.
blood and stuff, but
I don't know. There was just
it's
like
fast.
something that like really attracted me. Like when I first started watching anime after seeing it on Adult Swim in the Toonami afternoon block, and I'm like, what? I'm catching like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, the original Mobile Suit Gundam, G Gundam, Inuyasha, Outlaw Star. There was just something like that, and it just like that appealed to me more with those than like some of the newer ones.
Yep.
And I mean, it also doesn't help when you have animes like Bleach and Naruto, which I thoroughly enjoyed watching them, but they're a huge investment to get into with the amount of episodes they have. So that's kind of hard to like jump on board if you didn't like get on board with it like from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So, and then I mean, you've got like One Piece, which is like got
That's
a
like
ridiculous amount
like
of
over like
episodes.
that's over 100 episodes, I think, right?
Oh,
Close to
Jesus.
Oh, it's way more
than that.
It's
Wow.
way more.
It's over 1,000.
Yeah,
Oh, wow, holy fuck.
yeah.
Damn.
And I'm behind. I'm only on episode like 746.
Yeah, I ain't binge watching that.
That's
I'll watch it.
behind.
I'll watch it, but I ain't gonna try to binge through the entire season in 2 months. It's gonna take like a year and a half, and I'll watch a
I
couple
know.
episodes every.
It almost
days
might
or
be.
so.
It would almost be probably faster to just read the manga up into the point that they are at in the anime.
No, I would still watch the show even if I read the manga. I'd still watch the show easily because I just
Mhm.
love the show aspect of stuff. I absolutely love the show aspect or the whole show idea.
It's just also the investment in time.
Yes, it's
'cause-
a lot of investment. Like if you have work, there's no way you're gonna get through it if you're working, or
yeah.
you might as well just quit
I
before.
I almost prefer the animes now that are like in the like a 12 episode anime or a
Yeah.
26 episode
solid.
anime, or like one that tops out at like 50ish, like the original Full Metal Alchemist did. That was like about 50ish episodes. So I mean that's a lot easier to like binge watch if you've missed it,
Yep.
or just catch up to whatever episode is being currently aired if you're able to.
Yeah,
So-
I started watching One Piece when they were at probably around 700 episodes. By the time I ended, they were at like 800.
Yeah.
And it's a grind. Like that's what you have with the longer animes. It's just you have to just do that to do it. Like usually I go into one of two modes, gaming or anime. So if I'm going to watch an anime, I'm going to binge it.
Mm-hmm.
So it usually means maybe 3 or 4 days without gaming, which I can do. But with fucking One Piece, it was like, Jesus Christ, I was getting so tired of that shit by episode 300 and some.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like I want to get into Dragon Ball Super, but part of me is like, if this has got as many episodes as like Dragon Ball Z, I'm not sure I want to get into that. And Dragon Ball Z was only like 500 or 600 something episodes.
Dragon Ball Z, I feel like Dragon Ball Z, the problem with that for me is that it would get pretty old too quickly, and it would be like, it's such an iconic show that it's almost a cliche that an anime fan watches it.
Yeah,
And I don't
yeah.
want to watch it. Like I think it's a cool concept, and I think had it been less popular, I would probably watch it. But it's just, it's like it's so overdone and overwatched that it's like I don't want to because
Well, back in
It's
the day,
like-
it was a rite of passage, just about.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
And
back in
haven't even watched all
back
of
in
it.
the day, in like the early '90s or early to mid '90s, that was pretty much one of the only things to expose Western culture to anime. So
It's like that, Mobile Suit Gundam, and Pokemon.
yeah,
Pokemon even came later, so like even then,
I know. But it also seems like Super at this point, there's so many transformations that they have now that it's like this Super Saiyan is meaningless now.
Super
Because,
Saiyan God, Super Saiyan.
I mean, you've got Super Saiyan God, then you have Super Saiyan Blue, then they had Super Saiyan Rage, which is in there, and now in the latest arc, apparently they're teasing that Goku will have another new transformation. So,
One that surpasses Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. That's impressive.
yeah, and it's like,
I just like saying that.
and the problem is, it's also they no longer have these transformations associated with a number to make it clear which one is like a progression of the previous one. It was so much easier in the original DBZ because you had Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3. And then you knew as you went up, they got progressively stronger and stuff.
And then there was
mean,
Raleigh.
I mean, originally, before they called it Super Saiyan Blue, apparently they were calling it a Super Saiyan God.
Yep.
And
Such a freaking mouthful.
that's why they had to change that, because that would be ridiculous for them to constantly say that.
Oh, he's going into Super Saiyan God mode. What?
Voice actors are just like, I'm tired of this.
Fuck this.
Like, check the script. Oh no, he's here. Pages.
Oh no,
flip.
he's going into Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, Super Master, Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan God Master, Super Saiyan Blue. That's what.
Oh no, he's getting more powerful. Shoot him. I've seen like one
It's
gun
for
two
9,000.
series? From my memory, but
I feel like
I
if
didn't
you're in
watch all
Super
of them.
Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Master, you're well over 9,000.
At this point, power levels are completely meaningless.
yeah, they don't
Like,
have the technology to fucking measure it. They couldn't measure his power
like
level.
once
Episode
they
two.
once they got to the Freezer arc and they were talking about it, was like it's over 1 million, and then it just got to the point. It's like there's no way for you to apply a numerical value for this, because it's you've pushed it up way too high to even consider it anything with it. It's like,
They could start counting it how many solar systems you can destroy with a single punch.
yeah. I mean, they have guys now. It's like pretty much just powering up would destroy a planet essentially.
Yep.
So
Never really watched Dragon Ball Z, as I said before, but my favorite character on the show was always Majin Buu. I just thought it was so ridiculous, such a ridiculous character that it's just perfect.
which now Majin Buu are you talking
The
about?
fat one.
Okay.
The one that I saw as a kid and I thought was fantastic because it's fat and pink. It looks like it would be a good guy, but it turns out he's not. Thank you.
Yeah.
Death Battle.
Oh, but slight segue away from anime for a moment, because I know not everybody can speak anime
That's okay.
fully effectively. But God, I've been itching to get a new game.
Ooh.
Yeah, that itch.
Do you have any
Do
particular?
you play Stardew Valley?
I do
Game.
not.
Do you have
You
any
don't?
particular game in mind, or?
I had two actually, and they're two
Okay.
very, very different games. One of them being, and Gar has been made aware of this, is Friday the 13th.
Okay.
I've been really thinking about picking that up. You know, since he seems to play it a lot, I think it'd be one, just a hell of a lot of fun and good collab.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely, Friday the 13th, from what I've watched of it, it's a lot of fun, especially if you're able to have do a game where it's just people that you know, and not like have to wait for like randoms or anything like that.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
just
So
communication and
yeah,
everything's a lot
it's
closer.
just so much. I've just from what I've seen when I've watched people play it, it's just way more fun. Um, Plus, it also you have to worry less about the server drops and stuff I've heard about, which may have been fixed, but I've like heard of people playing it and they're getting matchmaked with people who have their character profile or something in like kanji. So it's like, why the hell are they getting matched with someone like that who most likely is playing somewhere in Asia?
Oh yeah, they're just
So
doing it for money anyway. And the reason I would want to get that is because it's kind of like turning the key towards TC3, maybe perhaps doing our own gameplays of that.
I mean,
Because
we
right
could
now
also.
it's Gomer.
I mean, we could also. There's also Dead by Daylight, which you're able to do, and you just need
No,
5 people for that.
no.
Yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
Dead by Daylight is not as good.
Yeah, I never like I thought it was gonna be like a survival horror game, sort of like 7 Days to Die, but it wasn't.
Yeah, no,
Some
no.
multiplayer online.
It's an asymmetric one. So
Anyway,
I mean, it's nothing like 7 Days to Die.
what was that other game, Tom?
Oh yeah. Besides that, Escapist 2.
Ooh, I haven't played the first one yet. I've been meaning to play it, but
I picked that up and it
I've
was
never heard of that.
yeah,
actually.
it was back in the day when I first started watching YouTube gameplays. Like I didn't ever watch people on YouTube at all. I actually got started with Markiplier was the first person I ever subbed to.
Oh,
And that's
okay.
because at the time I was playing I can't remember why, but it was some sort of fucking Slenderman copy. Like one of my buddies
Oh,
mentioned it.
yeah.
He's like, "Oh, this is scary. Play
Shit.
this." And I got
I know
tired
what
of
you're
looking for a
talking
note,
about.
so I looked up a YouTube video, and there was Markiplier. So I thought, "Hey, well, I just watched this dude play it." And there's where it started. But not too long after that, The Escapist came out. And it's kind of like a top-down 2D sprites kind of game, and you have to escape from a prison.
Oh, Escapist, yeah.
Yeah, and this one, the second one, looks like they did a better job on it as far as mechanics, but it's fun stuff.
I recommend. As I said before, you said you didn't play Stardew.
No.
Play Stardew. Do you like farm simulators? Not farming simulator, but like sort of like that base building that kind of not.
I do like usually with those. It's a bit of a choppy start for me.
It's like it's a lot like a Harvest Moon.
Yeah, I never played it.
Okay, it's sort of like it's kind of got a mind. It's like Terraria had a child with Minecraft.
I've never played Terraria.
With and it gave it like the Harvest Moon style.
One of my buddies has played Stardew, and he speaks highly of it.
Yeah, I'd recommend it.
With those kind of games, it's usually a rocky start for me because it's like I try not to know much about them before I get them. Like if I watch one good video, I'll pick it up because I want to learn everything myself, get my own systems down. Because if you watch somebody create a giant city, it seems pretty daunting when you start out fresh. Like, oh God, how am I going to get to that point?
Like Minecraft. You see these
Yeah.
amazing creations, and it's like, I want to do that, but you can't because you suck or you just don't have the time.
Don't have the time, don't have the materials or anything like that.
Yeah.
And the second issue with those type of games that I reach is I start getting into it and I can't stop playing it.
Yeah, trust me, Stardew sucks your life away. Or not even just your life, it just sucks you in.
Hell, Minecraft is sucking my life away. Like, I just started playing it consistently probably just a few weeks ago. And I've been getting on it at least once a day to try out new idea I had while I was at work, or I was watching some YouTube videos that gave me some ideas on how to do something. And
Oh, yeah, yeah.
ugh,
When I started Stardew Valley, when I first got it, I played it nonstop for like 3 weeks. It was just constant. Like I would spend hours upon hours playing this. And then recently I started getting back into it again because I fell off there for a bit. And I put in about 12, maybe 13, probably close to 14 hours in one day into that game. All like pretty much all at once too. Like if there was any breaks, it was like a 10-minute break to get food or something.
yeah, I try to. I try not to lose any sleep over them.
Yeah,
Like
no,
usually,
yeah.
I've got to tear myself away eventually. Like hell, Saturday was kind of a pain in the ass because I got up early that day, and wife went to work because she worked on Saturday. I couldn't get back to sleep, so I was playing fucking Minecraft from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m.
Nice. Sounds like one of my days.
And
I've done that.
My kind of days
Playing.
lately.
yeah. But I think between the two games, I'm leaning more towards Friday the 13th because it seems like just just a hella fun. Because The Escapist is not a multiplayer game, and I know
Yeah.
I've at least been on more of a kick lately trying to do more stuff with TC3, which I basically do everything with TC3 now. If I'm not doing podcasts, I'm playing with the head members of TC3 on Minecraft and shit, and it's just
We could
a lot of time.
too bad we can't like get all like if we were closer, I'm sure it would be so nice, but we could play games like that and do like let's watches almost. But that's a dream of mine right there, is to be able to get a bunch of people and play like a let's watch game.
Like one person plays and the other people are like there in the room with them commentating.
Yeah.
I suppose no, it'd be messy.
You guys
We
can
can't
do
even
it
get
down
screen
there.
share. Well, we
All
can't
of
even
you and well,
screen
no, you
share
wouldn't
what-
have all of us. Like it doesn't. It's not necessarily everyone. It's like it's people that are available at that day. Like you guys are all down in Iowa, so
Well, realistically, I mean, me, Gavin, Panda, and Joker could probably pull off something like that because he
Yeah.
just lives south of us. Oh, and Gar. What the fuck?
yeah.
Forgot about Gar. But
Yeah,
yeah,
just forget me. Forget me. I'm not here apparently. I don't
Yeah.
exist. Thanks.
but hey, I'm trying to hashtag goals your Friday the 13th. Trying to jump on that bandwagon.
I've gotten
But-
a lot of followers from it so far.
Yeah. And
That seems like the game to stream right now, and I should probably get it. Problem
Well,
is, I hate multiplayer games. Like that's my one issue.
well, I just turn off voice chat.
No, it's not even that. I just hate multiplayer games in general. Like I can't. I played COD Black Ops 2 multiplayer
That's
for a
bad
while, and
example.
it's fun. I enjoyed it, but it was just not like. It's part of the reason why I hate multiplayer, because they can be very toxic communities if you're in the right game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a fucking Twitch shooter, well, not even a Twitch shooter, but a game like Call of Duty, the multiplayer in that is just going to burn you out fast.
And that's kind of what happened. Like I'll still play online from time to time. Like I'm sure if I get Friday the 13th, I would play it online just for streaming purposes. But
No, it's something like Friday the 13th. It'd be fun as hell to edit. Because
Oh, yeah.
I've been doing a lot of the same exact series on my YouTube channel. And after a while, especially in a pretty repetitive game like PUBG, you feel like you're editing the same video over and over again. And it gets a little boring. But
yeah, I can
think-
understand because with like Friday the 13th, you can have the multiple characters you can look at and see what's going on with them. So
yeah,
Yeah,
and
I
in
just
that, if you
set my counselor to random and just roll the dice and hope.
Yeah.
and it would be fun, especially because in that multiplayer setting, it's like you have two teams with two very different goals, and whereas in a straight up multiplayer shooter, it's like everybody's goal is just to be the best,
Kill the
and
other team.
shoot the most people.
Wanna be
yeah,
like no one ever was.
In Friday the 13th, it kind of you can clearly tell where people's goals are based off of what they find first. The counselors will usually split up into 2 or 3 groups depending on what they found first. If they found gas first, they're going to either go after the boat or one of the cars. If they found batteries, if they found a battery, they're going to go straight for that car. If they found a propeller, they're going immediately for that freaking boat. I hate that boat, by the way.
The way I think about it, it's like when I see Friday the 13th, I think of a chessboard in a dark room, and you have a black queen in the center of the board, and pawns ran in random places on the other parts of the board. And when something happens, a little light shines on one of the pawns, and you have to go there, and go here, and go there. It's kind of like interesting.
Yep.
It's
Really?
you have to play Jason very strategically. The first thing you always have to do is shut down that phone box. Don't let him get.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be fun. I mean, I think the violence in it would definitely motivate me to kill people in real life, as does any violence in any video game, according to Mothers Against America. I mean,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen some gameplay where like people have gotten the car running and they've accidentally run over other people while trying to escape. They're just panicking.
You know, it'd be an interesting multiplayer mode in a game if Outlast 2 had a similar mode where the guy got to play as fucking Chris Walker, and it was an instant, like, I don't remember if Friday the 13th is the kill if you get hit.
hit normally, no.
No.
Okay, if you get,
Two
like,
or three regular
play-
hits.
you play a game, like it's a multiplayer game where you're Chris Walker's running around and you have to survive as long as you can or escape, and you die instantly if he gets you, and he's like super hard to escape. That would be fun.
Who is Chris Walker?
The big scary guy in Outlast, or on the first Outlast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the big fat guy with the chains, and he rips your head off when you meet him.
As
Yeah.
to most people like that would do.
Yep.
No, I think I've seen gameplay of Outlast. It seems like an interesting game to play,
Oh, it's so much fun.
and I can definitely understand the fear aspect of it because you're hopeless. But I like it better that you can fight back, in a sense, where they give you some ability to affect the killer in some way negatively, because what that gives them is hope, albeit false.
It's very little hope.
Uh,
Albeit very small and false hope, but that makes it even better because that enriches the fear.
yeah.
It makes them believe, oh, maybe I can survive this.
It's the reason.
And then when you pop in to a house or they run
Oh,
around
yeah.
a corner and you're standing there, it's just like, I don't have any
Instant fear.
experience.
That's what I love about Outlast. So Outlast is one of the scariest games I've ever played because everything is out to get you, and it is so scary because you have no idea what's around the next corner. Like, it is even then, getting chased by Chris, it's terrifying because he's so, like, you know what's gonna happen when he catches you, and when he does, you fucking scream. Just because, like, even when anybody catches you, like, you can take multiple hits from like the grunts and the regular psychos, but it's not even close to what happens.
Oh yeah, but after a while, I mean, you run into him and it's like, oh fuck, last checkpoint. It
Run,
turns
run,
into,
run, run. Yeah.
yeah, it turns into kind of like a repetitive type thing where it's like, oh, he
It
got
does.
me, and not having the ability to fight back is definitely a definite game changer as far as horror
Oh,
games.
big time.
But having the ability to fight back is important because you find ways to escape it, and
Yep.
the game finds ways to cut that escape route off. And the more options you have, the more things that can go wrong.
Yeah, that's why
That
Dead
you feel
Space
it.
was so good. That's why
Yeah.
BioShock was so good. That's why a lot of
and it enlists, and it brings rage to the game because you feel like there's something that you could have done differently.
yeah. Oh yeah, big time. Like when I played Dead Space on my playthrough, I was fighting an alien. I don't remember which. It's right after you kill, or it's right after you get out of the fucking what's it called? The command center or whatever. It's like the big area at the head of a ship.
The bridge.
Bridge. Thank you. It's right after you get out of the bridge and you have to fix the elevator. And there was like 3 of those guys. 3 of those big, weird, ugly guys. I guess it's Dead Space, so it's kind of hard. But I had to kill all those.
Everything's big and ugly.
Yeah, that was my point.
Yeah.
I had to. That doesn't really narrow it down. But I had to kill those 3 guys, and then I had to go down into like the smallest area, and I had like no ammo left, so I had to kill the same guy I had to fight the same guy like 5 different times, and it was absolutely infuriating.
I love the monster designs in that game. Just the
Oh,
amount
yeah,
of
so
monsters
good.
they had. And when they introduced a new monster, it was always a very similar reaction, which was just blatant. What in the fucking Christ is that? What is
Yes.
that? How
Yeah.
many limbs
It's like-
is that?
It's a lot like fucking Silent Hill.
Fucking.
It's the same question. What is that thing? What am I looking at?
I think Silent Hill would have been just as scary, and I'm reaching here, but would have probably been just as scary as if they removed the sound completely and left
Fuck.
one sound in the game, and that was Pyramid Head's sword scraping on the ground.
Like you have there's no music, but there's like footsteps and shit too. Like make it realistic. There has to be like footsteps, and there has to be
You mean maybe kind of
Footsteps.
like
Breathing.
breathing.
PUBG?
Yeah, like there's
Or,
no music at all, other than traditional sounds
Or
of
the
people
including
walking.
that Friday the 13th has, like, if you're hiding, you have the option of like holding your breath, so Jason
Yeah.
can't. Well,
I-
potentially
I-
not
I-
detect you.
I love the fact that Jason has stock to kill his music to where all you can hear is his footsteps.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I mean, there's multiple, and you can take advantage of that. And I've done that in so many multiplayer games like PUBG, where it's like I've taken out whole groups of people, like 1 versus 4. 1, because they didn't know I was there, and 2,
Mhm.
I wasn't sneaking. I just look at a couple of the members. I'm like, they're dressed very similar to me. So you
And
just
you just
run in
wipe
there,
them out.
and it's 4 people running around in a building. People can't tell their fucking footsteps apart. And it's not as effective in PUBG is because you have a marker above your teammates, but in games like DayZ, that shit was...
that kept.
Oh yeah, it was hilarious. I'd run into groups of like 6 people, and I'd see how a couple of them are dressed and try to change to look like them. and start running with them. Like they don't count how many people are running. They're just running together. They're not getting shot, and then they stop and they're sitting around
Eventually, they
talking.
start dropping like flies. Like they
Yeah.
slowly die over extended period of time. You slowly kill all of them.
Well, basically, I jump into this team basically just to keep track of them and tell my teammates where they are so we can set up an ambush. But there's a few times where they'll stop. They're like, okay, we're going to stop here and get supplies or whatever. They're all talking amongst each other. And then subconsciously, somebody does a head count and realizes that there's an extra person in their group.
And that's when
That's-
you kill them.
Yep, that's always the perfect point. Because one of them stops and they're like, wait a second. And there's that pause and they go, oh, fuck. Because they're looking around and they don't know who is who.
Mm-hmm.
And they start doing this little game like, hey, if you're friendly, do this. And you just mimic what they're doing. Or is this you? Is this you? Oh, man.
Fuck Tom, you're a psychopath.
No, that's what I love, though.
It's part of the game.
It's
A little bit.
it's not necessarily part of the game, but
It's like something I would do.
I find a way to do crazy, creepy shit in games like that, where it's not necessarily one of the functions. Like as soon as that was one of the first things I thought of. As soon as I started playing that game, I'm like, okay, so it's a game where groups of people move together, and there's no indication of who is your teammate.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to use call signs. We'd be in Vent. That's how long ago this was, in Vent. Every time you changed clothes in that game, you told your friends. Every time you changed guns, you told your friends, because they've got 2 seconds when they see you to decide whether or not they're going to kill you.
Yeah.
If you're rolling up on one of your friends, you tell them, hey, I'm outside your building to the west. Okay, that's you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And false hope. Like there's been a couple of times I'm a very charismatic guy, and I'm always befriending people in those situations. And I run up on a group of 3 people and I'm like, hey guys, how's it going? They're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I will sit there and chat with them, bullshit with them, 30, 45 minutes of just running around with them, looting, laughing, and all this stuff. And we go into a supermarket where 2 of my buddies are and completely fucking shred them and take all their shit.
It's kind of a dick move, don't you think?
Yeah,
Hey, they
they
should-
would do the same.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all would, but I mean,
Oh yeah. No, that's why I got an answer one time when I was playing Rust. I knocked on a dude's door and I was trying to pull a game like that. I'm like, hey man, just spawn near here. Are you friendly? And he's like, I'm not going to open my door. And I'm like, dude, I don't even have anything. You can see that. And of course, I'm standing outside of his door, completely naked, with nothing in my hands, and a guy on each side of the door with assault rifles, ready to breach as soon as the fucking door opened. Completely silent. No way he could have known they were there. I'm like, come on, man. I just want to come in and hang out for a little while, maybe chat. And he's like, I've played DayZ. That was his final answer. He's like, I've played DayZ. And I said, fair enough, and walked away. And then he heard the footsteps of everybody who was with me. So he made a good decision.
yep. Rust is a game I would have liked to get into, but I just never had a decent enough PC, and I don't think it's on console yet.
Yeah. It's okay. I mean, it's optimized for shit. It doesn't run very well, but
Yeah.
it's okay. One game that has kind of a sadistic twist to it is Murder
Oh, yep. No, I've heard of that.
on Gmod, yeah. And
Fucking murder.
we were playing kind of a watered down version. TC3 was, where it was just like 5 or 6
I was
of
watching
us.
that stream.
Yeah, and it was fun.
I think.
was
Yeah,
fun.
that was the Crash release, right?
Yeah,
Yep, I was watching that.
and it was fun. And
I remember that.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. But when I played Murder back in the day, it was on servers of like 15 people. And I'd go in there maybe with one other person that's my friend, and I was the murderer. And there was one game in particular I was playing with my buddy Gadget. I think it was Gadget. Yeah, it was Gadget. And we were running around together the whole time and just chatting. And that's the key to it. Just keep people talking. And even when I was in there alone, I'd be one of the social people, you know, hanging out in the group and just keeping an eye on everybody and not acting suspicious. What you do is you wait for somebody to go into adjacent room and you keep talking, and just lazily go into that room, kill them, come back out. You have to make it appear as though you never left. And I've gotten it down to the point where it wasn't Gadget that was with me. It was just some rando. And me and him are running away because he saw a dead body. And I was just like, dude, the murder's right behind us. And we're running. And they're like, and he starts asking who else has seen him and all this stuff. And we're running into a room, and I closed the door
Then you
behind
trip
us. I closed the door behind us. I'm like, yeah, I think he might have been right behind us. And he starts asking other people on the server if they'd seen him. And then it starts to dawn on him that nobody's answering him. Because when you die in murder, your voice comms go out.
Oh,
So
dude,
there's
that's
no
awesome.
talking. Yeah, there's no talk. Like, the only reason we were able to talk to each other is we're on Discord. But if you're in
Yeah.
game doing in-game chat, there's no talking. And that's when it dawned on the guy that there was nobody left but me and him. And he slowly looks over at me. And the game ends.
Nice. Man, it's like, I love games like that though. I've just thought the idea of actually like dying in a video game, not in like SIO form, but like actually dying in a video game where you're just done. Like that's it. It's over. You can't do anything else other than maybe restart. But I love that whole idea because it's like you did all this stuff. You have everything set up and you died. You have to restart and it's like shit. I have to rebuild it all over again. So you have this constant sense of fear that, oh, I'm gonna die again soon. If I die, I have to restart, and I don't really want to restart. So it's like you have to defend yourself. You have to do all this stuff just to survive, and it's like, oh fuck.
No, definitely. Those kind of situations in survival, especially, are fun in a sense because it gives you that challenge. But that's what I loved about multiplayer, is because the mechanics of the game were a little complicated and hard to get over. But the easiest mechanic of the game was the people, the players, and if you play them, you can get whatever you want.
Yeah.
And that's what I miss about games like that. They make it a little too easy in some of the newer games. Like, your allies are highlighted, your enemies are highlighted, and taking advantage of confusion and stuff like that. Like, the only times I've been able to, since allies are marked clearly on PUBG, one of the few times I've been able to take advantage of confusion is a time me and my buddy Gadget stormed the house and took out a few people. And it was a last-minute decision because a cargo plane was flying overhead. We were sneaking up to the house, and the cargo plane flew over, floods out all sound, and I'm like, let's do it now. We can't wait. And we basically breached the doors and immediately killed them all because they can't hear us.
Nice.
And there's another game I was going to mention that was similar. I can't remember, though. Oh, man. But yeah, that's fun. I mean, it was another thing with DayZ. You've probably, in passing, at least heard me mention my buddy Trees.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, he's somebody who's been a friend of mine for like 5 years now. He lives out in California. And we met on DayZ. And the circumstances of us meeting are innocent in his mind. Because in his mind, here's how it happened. He was at his truck, getting his weapons ready to go, turns around, there's a fresh spawn behind him, which was me. I was like, oh, hey, man, sorry, I was trying to get away from zombies. And he's like, yeah, hop in. And we drive, get out, he hands me a gun. And then my buddy comes out of the trees. I'm like, hey, don't shoot this guy. He's my friend. And we all get in the car and drive away together. Happy to we're friends now. And the truth that I didn't make him aware of until we had known each other for about a year and a half was my side of that story. I had just donated to the server, and I was killing myself over and over again to try to get my server bonuses, but they hadn't kicked in yet. And I just so happened to spawn fairly near to him, but I didn't have my server bonuses yet, and I was trying to kill myself. You started with a 6-shot revolver, and honestly, I forgot to count my shots. Killed a couple zombies. Saw this guy completely decked out. He's got a truck. He's got guns up the ass. Probably plenty of shit on the car. So I walk up behind him, put the gun up to his head, pull the trigger, and I have no ammunition left. He turns around. He's like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "Oh, hey," and play it off. We're driving with each other, and I'm giving my buddy coordinates. I'm like, "Hey, this guy's loaded. Looks like we're going to be crossing this intersection. Get me there. I'll get him to stop the car. When he gets out, kill him." And at some point, while I was conversating with him, I had decided that I was going to spare his life, which does not happen very often. That I decide to spare somebody.
And then when you
Especially-
told him, he shot you.
It was like a year and a half later because he pissed me off in some sort of game. I'm like, "Do you want to know why we are friends today, Trees?" "Why is that?" "Because I was out of ammo. If I had one goddamn bullet left in that revolver, we would have never been friends."
You sound almost like Bruce Willis's character from A Whole 9 Yards.
It's a good movie. It's been a long time since I've seen that, though.
Because I mean that it's almost the same thing. Like he befriends a guy that he's supposed to kill, doesn't kill him, and then like he tells him later on, he's like, "Yeah, I was supposed to fulfill a hit on you and I didn't," and then the guy turns around and shoots him.
Wow. No, that's shitty.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I feel like that's the way I'd be in those kind of games. I'd just kill. Like, or would be the kind of guy that goes into places just to burn people alive. Like, I'd keep Molotovs on me just for the simple fact to burn people alive. That's
It's a viable strategy.
like, I honestly, I would camp in places, wait for my opponent, or wait for like a person to come and just light them up. It'd be fun.
I had one especially fun. We actually got a kill on this guy with nothing, basically nothing. I had nothing, no guns. He had a gun, pretty decked out, and I was chilling with him. And I was guiding him to my other buddy who had nothing. He had a crowbar and a bottle of whiskey.
Nice.
And we had just found out that there's a mechanic in that game that we weren't aware of. That's if you throw a bottle of whiskey at somebody's legs, it breaks them.
Well, that's exciting.
So, yeah. And
Wait,
we're coming up on the intersection. I'm giving my buddy cues and vent. I'm like, "All right, I'll get the guy to stop." I'm like, "Hey man, wait up a sec." And out of fucking nowhere, my buddy runs out of the bush and yells, "East side, motherfucker," and throws the fucking whiskey bottle, misses the guy, and dude's like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's just my friend." Like, immediately diffuse the situation, because the most dangerous weapons you have is your words. Like, somebody runs
Yeah.
out of the fucking bushes and throws something at you, if you gotta diffuse that shit as quickly as you can. And all that did was buy us 5 seconds to close the distance. My buddy ran up to him, knocked him out with a fucking crowbar, and we took all of his shit.
nice. All this talk about zombie game reminds me of an indie game that I used to play. Have you ever heard of Apoxy?
Epoxy?
Apox or Epoxy, I guess, whatever. I don't know. Fucking, it was an indie game on Xbox 360. Maybe it was on PC too at one point. Why, Tom?
No.
Have you heard of it?
It
Oh,
doesn't
that's
sound
cool.
like Tom has.
Because it sounded like by you correcting me. Anyway, this game was the shit. It was a shitty little indie game on the Xbox 360 store, and it cost only $1. And it was basically like, so it was essentially 7 Days to Die, and like except it was like less. There was no creation. It was the same map over and over again. But man, was it fucking fun! Like you have to. There's no point to the game. You just have to go like survive, and you have to find shit. You have to explore and hopefully find a new building or something. And we would get like I would play with my cousin every once in a while. We'd get like this random guy, and we would just run him fucking down. Like we would get in pickups or we'd get in cars and just try to drive him down and kill him over and over again. And we trolled so hard anybody that got into our server. It was so much fun. We would fucking like find Molotovs or something lying around, and we'd try to burn them, or we'd sit there with guns hiding in bushes and shoot them, and it was such a blast.
Yeah. I think the only trolling I did was near the end of my DayZ career when I started scripting like a kiddie. And I didn't do anything too bad. Like, basically, we had a group of 5 people, and only myself and one other person in the group even knew I was scripting. That's how subtle I was with it. Like, I was even, actually, a group of 6 people, 3 people knew, the other 3 didn't. I was doing shit like teleporting across the fucking map, and they didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, one of the guys that knew would get into some trouble on the other side of the map, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to go check out this building, run to the building, teleport across the fucking map, go over there, help him, teleport back and come out. And I'm like, yeah, there's nothing in there. And we just continue. And they didn't know. And nobody found it suspicious that me and my other buddy always happened to spawn together and always found like 50 caliber sniper rifle and like his favorite assault rifle. We always found really good gear. That was me being an asshole. But then I did some Sherlock Holmes shit. Like, somebody pissed me off on the server. Like, he had rolled on everybody and killed all of us. Or he killed me because I never put God mode on. I thought that was just too much. Killed me, killed my other buddy, and took our shit. And I took it personally. So
Nice.
I, from the direction they were coming, I guessed where they were heading. And I guessed correctly. I said, and I was the guy that did that. So I would estimate, distance traveled, destination, stops along the way. And we would go there and find people. So I said, I think he's going to be here. I'm going to try to make it there as quick as I can. So they're still in their truck heading that way. I've got 5 minutes. And I would teleported there, found them. And what I needed to make it look like is, well, because I went full fucking douchebag mode, like I was invisible. And I didn't have God mode because I never stooped that low, but I was invisible, and I could spawn any gun I wanted. So to make it seem more feasible, because I was killing them from multiple directions, every time I killed one of them, I'd switch weapons. So the first guy peeks out a window, I gun him down with an AK, immediately drop it behind a wall, switch to something else, go to the other side of the building, pop another one. All the while my buddies are like, where'd you end up spawning? And I'm like convincing them. I'm like, oh, I'm all the way down in Calamar or something, like decades away. Like, no way they can get to me or come pick me up. They're like, oh, okay, we'll just go kill these guys. And it got down to the wire. My buddies were like 15 seconds away from pulling up to where the firehouse is. because that's where I said that they will probably go, which is where they went. And I switched to like a standard ass fucking gun you can pick up anywhere. You can't identify bodies. So I switched to a standard gun. They're 15 seconds away. I run in there, and there's no death messages in this game. Oh, there was, actually. So I run in there. Me and the guy kill each other right as they pull up in the parking lot, and they see both of us, they see him die. But they actually saw me die. They thought they saw him die, but they saw me die. And our death messages popped up at the same time. So immediately I just say, fuck, I fell off a roof. So when they look at the death messages, they're like, oh, one guy died in the firehouse. Tom died when he was falling off a roof. Okay. They never found out that I was hacking. And
Nice.
my buddy sent me a chat over Steam. And he's like, with great power comes great responsibility. Never do that again. I'm like, I won't. And then I got banned.
I have a story in Black Ops 2. I was playing with a bunch of friends, and we were playing in an online server, having a blast, and eventually we get to this game. This guy has his name was I Love You, and his name tag was flashing, like the words were flashing, and immediately we're like, that guy's a hacker. And so we get into the game, and we're running around killing people, where all of us are killing people, and this guy goes 63-0 with like 7 headshots. He's using a sniper the whole time, and he is just sitting there jumping off the roof doing 360 no scopes. That's all he's doing. I guarantee you he was in slow motion, and he had fucking like one shot kill or something, or like extra boxes, or like bigger box or something.
Subtle. Yeah. Well, weapon.
Well, that is our podcast. Thank you for joining us for episode 10 of Think on It.
We've got 10 episodes of these. Holy
yeah, we made it to 10. The links to everyone's channel will be posted below. So, yes, everybody say good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye. Thanks for watching.